Greetings, this is the Jester's Court, course in hands-on magical learning and experience, and I am Jester the Fool, and in this video we're going to talk about sigils and symbols. What are sigils? What are symbols? Are you an advanced magician? Do you know what sigils are? Do you use sigils? You know what symbols are, you learned about symbols in kindergarten. But today we're going to discuss how symbols and sigils are being used in the magical field of study. Before we get any further, let's read the Wikipedia definition of what a sigil is. A sigil is a symbol used in magic. The term has usually referred to a type of pictorial signature of a demon or other entity in modern usage, especially in context of chaos magic. It refers to a symbolic representation of the magician's desired outcome. I did a video on subconscious mind, conscious mind. Basically broke down what that was a little bit. And so basically, we gotta understand the language of the conscious and the subconscious just real quick. The conscious mind is like your filter. It kind of is like, helps you stay focused on what it is that you need to do in your waking state of life. Your conscious mind helps you stay focused in your waking state of life. Whereas your subconscious is handling many responsibilities simultaneously, more so than you could be consciously aware of. Now, imagine if it was different. Imagine if your conscious mind activated on that 1 billion thoughts per second like your subconscious. You would go completely insane. Your brain would be moving so fast. You would be doing one thing and the next thing and this thing and that thing. You would never seem to have time to think for yourself because you'll be so, geared on all these thoughts and trying to get out, making sure your heart beats, making sure hair follicles grow, making sure skin cells replace themselves, making sure your body is fully functional and working properly. Your subconscious mind is basically it's handling all this, but it's doing it in a second nature type state, where it's not really thinking of it. Whereas your conscious mind, you have the cerebral state to think of what you want to do and focus on it. Now, how does this tie into magic? Now, how this ties into magic is that the language of your conscious mind is spatial, which means pictorial, and linguistic, which means verbal and communicative. When you think, you're thinking in words, you're thinking in thoughts and sentences, and then those thoughts and sentences create pictures in your mind. Like, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to get on the train, it's going to be crowded, I'm going to get my coffee, and I'm going to go to work. You think of these things in your mind as words, and then they play out a picture in your mind. That's how your conscious mind works. Now, your conscious, hold up, sorry. Now, your subconscious is moving very, very, very rapidly, doing multiple jobs as we speak. Now, again, how does this tie to magic? Your subconscious mind it understands linguistic language more than you know. Subconsciously, you could probably speak many different languages, but your subconscious mind speaks more in symbols, music, and pictures. Pictures, symbols, and music. Not so much words. Because words mean 1,000 different things. So, again, what we gotta realize too is that the English language is a makeup of many different languages. It's basically like Latin. All the words are really compound words almost. In English, the words in English are compound words, or suffixes put together to make one word, but each of those suffixes and compounds have different meanings within the word. So when you're saying a word, or a chant, what you're really doing is, if you're saying a word or a chant and you're not really sure of the word, you're saying everything that the word embodies. So with magic, it's very, 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 that's why I say be very careful what you say, because your subconscious mind, when you can't get the message, and I'll tell you how you deliver the message, and you do get the message to your subconscious mind, it's going to give you everything that you asked for. That's why people be like, I want abundance, but really they want money, and then they have all this clothes, all this food, and a place to stay, and like, they have all that abundance. They have a lot of lovers that want them, but they still just want money. They think that they're not abundant based upon not having money. So it's very key to really know what the words mean and what you're actually saying. So, how you get to your subconscious mind, instead of saying I want a car, you draw a picture of a car and you stare at the car and you imagine yourself driving the car. And you do that, because we do that naturally on a mundane level, but at a more magical level, you can do that too. So, basically, what a sigil is, I'm going to read it again, is a symbol used in magic. is normally a pictorial signature of a demon or entity or modern usage, especially in the context of chaos magic. It refers to a symbolic representation of the magician's desired outcome. So, as we get into this a little more deeper, sigils, it derives from the Latin term sigillum, which means seal, which is the seal. Now, one of first briefly discussed entity creation, and basically the letters Yahweh and how, the YHVH, the Yahweh. I just want to say that like entity creation, that over time there was a lot of paganism going on. And paganism was nothing more than just a word to put on what the Christians at the time couldn't really understand, because the Christians at the time had gotten their works from Gnosticism, and Gnosticism was just more of just the inner knowing of the soul. Just to break that down, just to be more easy. The Gnosis was just the inner knowing of the soul, and Christianity adopted the teachings of Gnosis into Christianity. But Christianity was really supposed to be a mental state, a person that came to the heart center, the fourth chakra in a sense. Not really having heart, but more or less being in the Christ center, the heart center of your energy, of your vibration, vibrating at the fourth chakra, and coming into that state. Because there was a lot of, before that, was a lot of third chakra, a lot of wars, a lot of 300, Spartans, battles, and Roman times, and conquering. So later had to come the person that came up from that energy, that mind state, into the Christ, which is the heart center, which is then kind of being in between realms, kind of being the meditative yogi, in a sense. But the pagans were nothing more than people, like, then you had reason, you had the Greeks, you had the dawn of reason, and reason was just more of, that's a rock, because it's grainy, and that's grass, because it grows that way, or because it's green, or whatever. But they started to label things, and then as they labeled things, they started to create gods for each thing that they labeled. They like a god of water, Neptune, and planets, and all that kind of stuff. So things started to have their names, and from those names created the entities, and the entities had their own sigils, and etc. But what's really going on is that your subconscious is basically a spark of what your soul is. Your soul is, it lies dormant within the subconscious. Subconscious is like the residue of the soul. You gotta go past your subconscious. The subconscious is like the dream realm, the fourth dimension. It's still the illusion. The real reality is the void, the nothingness. And getting to the void or nothingness is hard because people want to exist. The ego has to exist. I'm not saying that like matter of fact. I'm just saying that as in a divine sense, the ego has to exist. Like, in order to be the soul, you have to kill your ego, you have to kill yourself. But that's not suicide, but you know what I mean, like ego death, like becoming one with everything. So that's the level of that. But anyway, people had their own reasonings for things and created these pagan they created pagan entities, which were their own, which was a personal spirit that a person dealt with. And the Crusaders at the time wanted Christianity to be the main power, so they just kind of took people out and took whatever teachings they had, or whatever entities or spirits they had, and they demonized it and said not to use it, those particular entities. Now, what you gotta realize is that there are thought forms that do exist, but their thought forms are created over time through constant thought into it. This is where the big debate is, like, God doesn't exist to an atheist, but the thing of it is that it's all in thought. Like, I'm gonna get into the Kabbalion and do the 7 Hermetic Principles, but all is mind, which means that if you think of something, it exists. If you don't think of it, then it doesn't exist. So God exists, whether you say it doesn't or not. And if you sit there and say it doesn't exist, then it exists because you're thinking of it. And if you never thought of it, never had a conscious thought of it, never put it into your mind, never uttered the word of it, then therefore it would never exist to you. It would never exist at all. But if you put the thought into it, then it exists. So, now, what I'm going to talk about is, basically the entity creation. So, that's that entity creation is something that has been created over time by people in their minds. So the great question becomes, did God create man, or did man create God, in that sense? And that's a great question to really sit back and for people to ask themselves that through just revelations and studying entity creation itself. We start to see how these things come about. But this is going to be more on sigils and symbols, not really entities and spirits. But the sigil, the main thing that I'm really concerned with is the magician's desired outcome. And when you're dealing with magic, what you're really doing is you're just trying to communicate with your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind can dictate and govern your reality for you. It can change the perception of your reality. You can align with a correspondent reality that you're trying to attain. And that's what the subconscious is, because consciously you're thinking logically on how you can obtain whatever it is that you want. And a lot of times you may not have everything that you need logically to do that, or, so you must go beyond the logic and go into the realm of miracle, the realm of possibilities. You must go beyond what you can't and go into what you can do. So, in medieval ceremony magic, the term sigil was commonly used to refer to occult signs and represent various angels and demons which the magician might summon. The magical training books called grimoires often listed pages such as sigils. A particularly well known is in the Lesser Key of Solomon, which is the sigils of 72 princes of the hierarchy of hell given to the magician's use. Such as sigils considered the equivalent of the true name, the spirit, and thus granted the magician measure control of the demons. So, that's just some information. But the 72 princes, around your pineal is 72 crystals in your brain. Don't quote me on that. Just base it off of some shit I remember. But it's also like why they say Lucifer is your pineal, the third eye, the fallen angel. It's the fall from the crown into the 666 karmas. So yeah, so basically sigils are basically the original form of our communication. If you go back to, say, caveman times, Egyptian times, the paintings on the wall were the original sigils. Sigils and symbols are the original form. Pictorial messages are the original form of both divination, communication, and magic, and yet translation, I say too. So, yeah, we come a long way from duck time into actually creating letters and languages and words and sentences and structures and stuff. And those words and sentences, they turn into what you call spellings. And that's where the key in magic, why words, basically we live in a magical reality and we don't realize it, and we're desensitized to live and be mundane because other people who are aware of the magical reality of words and symbols and sigils play a big part. You gotta understand, if I say double golden arches, what did you just think of? You thought of McDonald's, some French fries, or you thought of the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know, but that's basically what symbolism is. Sigil is basically, now if you know magic, writing out your intention. Some people write their intention and keep it in a journal and put it under their pillow, but just reading that intention over and over consciously, it doesn't allow the subconscious to really take over. So what you do with your sigil, with your intention, is you basically take out all the like letters, and then you take out all the vowels. You can keep the vowels if you want, but you can take out all the vowels and all the like letters, because vowels basically are the same letter. And what the letters you have left, you can make into a new word, and that would be your incantation, or it's either your mantra or your muda. I can't remember the one. One's a hand sign and one's a symbol, but I think it's mantra. And you can use those letterings, and that would be your incantation, and you would stare at that. And what you're doing is you're just gonna forget what it is that you even want, and allow your subconscious to know. And your subconscious would just put that in your life, and you would just like, oh wow, this seems magical. And the way to make a sigil out of those letters is to then take those letters and form them into some type of picture or signature and create a sigil out of it. And you can keep the sigil on your altar, or you can burn the sigil, you can draw the sigil on your hand, you can meditate on the sigil, you can do whatever you want to place it there just so it has subconscious impact on you, so that your magic will start to work. Sigil magic is what is considered chaos magic, and I'll do a video on chaos magic, but basically, ceremonial magic is just more of time-consuming, more preparation, more setting up the space. Chaos magic and sigil magic is more of like right then and there when you want to just do something real quick, magically. You just want to do something real quick. And that's basically chaos magic. But chaos magic is more of merging all these traditions together to make a new form of magic, or have your own personal take on magic. Like if you consider yourself chaos magician, you're more of I'm a personal take on magic, and I will basically use whatever magical form is present at the current time. And whatever I'm aligned with, you're not really kind of stuck on a particular magical path. Now I just want to talk about some basic magic symbols that everyone knows about. We're going to start with the the pentacle. And the star in this symbol is used to represent the four elements: earth, air, water, and fire plus spirit. A circle is placed around them to symbolize the connection and reciprocal relationship between them all. The pentacle is sometimes used on altars and in magical work to symbolize the element of earth. the triple moon. The triple moon symbol represents the three phases of the moon, also known as the waxing and the full and the waning, with some past traditions and the symbol also known as the triple goddess, and is used to show the three phases of womanhood, maiden, mother, and crone. The first crescent, the waxing moon, symbolizes new life, rejuvenation, and new beginnings. The middle circle represents the full moon when magic is at its most powerful. Finally, the second crescent represents the moon during its waning period and the time of the moon phase, regarding the best time. Send things away, remove them from your life to finish things off. The Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus is an ancient Egyptian symbol used for protection. This is a symbol known as the Wayjet, or the Wayhet. And the Eye of Horus is believed by many to have healing and protective powers, also known the ability of ward off evil spirits. Because of this, the Eye of Horus is often used to decorate protective amulets and other items. Horus was the Egyptian god of sky and is typically depicted as a falcon. In ancient Egypt mythology, Horus injured his left eye during the battle with the god Set. Thus, his left eye represents the waxing and waning of the moon. The Ankh. This Egyptian symbol means life or living. Over time, the Ankh has come to symbolize eternal life and the immortality of people from many walks of life. In ancient Egypt hieroglyph, the gods are always seen as carrying an Ankh. The symbol is also chosen by some who wish to show they have spiritual beliefs rather than religious. The Ankh is also known as the Egyptian cross. It has the Latin name Cruca Anasta, which translates to cross with a handle. Interesting. And there's a lot of them. I'm just going to read their names. I'm not going to read all of the symbols. I'm going to read the descriptions. So the next one is Hecate's Wheel. I'm going to read, Hecate's Wheel is used to represent the three aspects of the god, and just like the triple moon. The tetrahedra. The tetrahedra has been long symbolizes Holy Trinity and predates Christianity and is used as such. The Triskel. The Triskel is generally considered a Celtic design, but also been found within Buddhist writings. The Cetrogram. I always wondered what that was. The Cetogram. Fairy star. The Cetogram is also known as the fairy star or elven star. It is used within some fairy traditions, but is also associated with many other magical traditions. The spiral goddess. Labyrinth. Air. Earth. Fire. Water. Horned god. The Eye of Ra. The Black Sun. Helm of Ah. Tree of Life. Mandala. Rod of Spinkus. You don't know what that is? Think of the thing that they have in medical, the two snakes in the wings, riding up the sword or whatever. Cadius. Ouroboros. Thor's Hammer. Flower of Life. Valknut. Esoteric Symbols. All-Seeing Eye Province. Oh, this is that one symbol that's on the Aleister Crowley Tarot. The unicrossal hexagram. The satanic cross. Alright, so yeah, I did a little bit on how to make sigils in this video. Sigils are basically just magical signatures created from intention, meditation, to access your particular desires, and also ways to get in touch with certain entities and spirits, contact them, summon them, incantations, invocations, divinations. Some sigils can be used to ward your home. The cross, the Christian cross, is a very particular symbol. I consider it a symbol more than a sigil. Sigil symbols are like the ones I said earlier, like the cross, the pentagram, the pinnacle, the Ankh, the all-seeing eye. Like, those are symbols. The sigils are signature-like drawings that are ways to contact entities. Now, symbols and sigils can be used and vice versa. And yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to say. I just wanted to say one thing. Basically, it starts with identification, and then your identification moves into personification and association, which leads you to words, names of power, and then that leads you into personification, leads to invocation and invocation. But words and power and names also lead back to your association, which leads to contagion, cause and effect, synchronicity, similarity. So basically, your sigils is an identification to get you to align with what it is that you're trying to get to. Similarity is how you get the law of attraction. So, yeah. So have fun creating sigils and magic, and keep being yourself.